All right, so the next several lessons we're doing are going to be over fraction review. This first one's just going to be over adding and subtracting fractions. So maybe if, there we go. So we're going to call this section 0.3 of our chapter. So our first example, we are finding the sum given the simplest form. The biggest thing about adding and subtracting fractions is we have to have like denominators. Okay, so in this case, when I look at it, I have 12ths. So I have 5 12ths plus 9 12ths. So basically, if you forgot what a fraction is, numerator are the parts and the denominator is the whole. So our whole thing, whether you want to think of it as pizza or just a circle, is divided into 12 parts. And the first one has 5 parts shaded in, and the second circle divided into 12 parts has 9 of them shaded in. And then so from here, we're just going to add 5 plus 9, which is 14. So I end up with 14 12ths. And then we should always simplify. So simplify would be to divide. It is not like you have to determine, because yes, we have an improper fraction here, and later we'll talk about what an improper fraction is, but basically if our numerator's larger than our denominator, that's what makes it an improper fraction. And so right now we're not going to worry about changing it into a mixed number, but read your Math Excel assignment, because if it says that it wants it in as a mixed number, then you're going to have to make it a mixed number, which we do. I do have a video on that. So right now we're just going to simplify though. 14 and 12, 2 can go into both of those. That's where I was going with the 2. So we're going to divide the numerator and denominator by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. And for now, or when you're doing paper versions of things, this is fine. In the high school, they're not going to make you change them to mixed numbers because it's easier to work with improper fractions anyway. All right, next one. Find the difference. Again, must have common denominators. All right. So they both have 8. So from here, we just do the subtraction of the numerators. The base is going to be 8. We're going to do 3 minus 5. Oh, but the 5 is bigger, so what that means is it's going to be a negative. Our integer rules still count even though we're working with fractions. And so we're going to end up with a negative 2. 2 divides into both 2 and 8, so we're going to simplify our fraction here. And 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we're going to end up with a negative 1 over 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And so we end up with an answer of a negative 1/4. The other way we could have set this up is to say that 3/8 flip the subtraction to addition, and make the 5/8 a negative 5/8. Either way this works. I just know right now, or up here, that the 5 is bigger, so I end up with a negative answer. Okay, so that's if we have common denominators. What if we are not given common denominators? So for unlike denominators, we have to find the LCD. So that's our least common denominator. And one way you can do it is you can look at or list all of your multiples. So like for 3, we would have 3 times 1 is 3, and times 2 is 6, and then 9, and 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times 5 is 15, and then 6 is 18, 7 is 21, 8 is 24. And you can list them all out. I'm just going to list till there. And then I can list for 7. And then when I have that common one, that's the one we're going to go with. So 7 times 1 is 7, times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is 21, and oh, that's where I'm going to stop, because look, there's our 21s. And so that is the smallest number that is common to both the 3 and the 7. And so from here, I'm going to change these fractions. I'm going to need to make 1/3. I'm going to multiply numerator and denominator by the same number in order so that I can get something over 21, because 21 is our common denominator. So I know that it's 3 times 7 that gets me 21. If I'm going to multiply the denominator by 7, I have to multiply the numerator by 7. So I end up with 7 over 21 as my first fraction. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the 4/7. 4/7 times something equals something over 21. And I know that for 7, 21 was 7 times 3. So that something is going to be 3. 4 times 3, 7 times 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. And 7 times 3 is the 21 that we want. So now I have 7 over 21 plus 12 over 21. Now I have like denominators, so now I can add my numerators. And 7 plus 12 is 19. So we have 19 over 21. 21 has the factors of 3 and 7 and 1 in itself, and none of those go into 19. So this is in its most simplified form. And so 19/21 is the answer. All right, we've got one more example. Now we're going to find the difference, and we have unlike denominators. So again, we've got to find that LCD. Some of you are going to be able to see it right away, and that's awesome. Some of us have to list things, and that's okay too. So 3 times 1 is 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 8, 15. Ooh, helps if I can do my multiplication. 15, 18. And then if I look at 9, 9, 18, 27. But here I could go ahead and stop with the first one, right? Because 9 is my least common denominator. What that means is that the 4/9 does not need to change. It's going to stay 4/9. I just have to change the 2/3, multiply it by something to make it something over 9. So I know that 3 times 3 is 9. So what I take my denominator times, I've got to take my numerator times. So 2 times 3 gives us 6. And so now we're going to do 6/9 minus 4/9. 9ths are going to stay as my denominator. And then I'm going to do 6 minus 4, which is 2. And 2 does not divide into 9. And so 2/9 is our final answer. So again, have to have that like denominator. This is one way to find an LCD. If you want me to show you a couple other ways, you just let me know, and we can give you what you need. Until next time, 8th graders, peace.